Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today I am back with not one, not two, but three 4K reviews for you. We have Stripes, we have The Andromeda Strain by Arrow, and we have What Lies Beneath by Scream Factory. We're going to take a look at them all. I've got video, I've got discussion. Let's get into it. Pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so a trio of 4K reviews for you on here. We're going to just talk about each one of them for just a couple of minutes. And I'm sure you know, some people have reviewed What Lies Beneath. I actually had this for a really long time. I just got a backlog of things that I've been trying to watch and review. I haven't heard anyone really mention The Andromeda Strain. This was a blind buy for me. And I haven't heard anyone mention the 4K release of one of my favorite comedies of all time right here in Stripes. And of course, you guys follow me, you know Harrison Ford is my favorite actor. Robert Zemeckis is in my favorite directors list. So got a lot going on here on this one. So we're going to talk about each one of them. And I want to start with the one that nobody is talking about, and that is The Andromeda Strain. Now, this is a Michael Crichton. This is based on a Michael Crichton novel, and this was obviously before like Jurassic Park and things like that. It came after 2001: A Space Odyssey, and it definitely has a little bit of wannabe those vibes to it. But I was actually surprised. I enjoyed this film. The 4K looks really good on here. Standard disclaimer: as I put up footage on here, it is my 4K camera recording my 4K OLED. I have a Panasonic UB820, but that's a screen. That's a camera recording a screen, and then it's going to be compressed to upload to YouTube after I edit it in Adobe Premiere Pro. So it's not going to look as good as it can. That's going to alter some colors just slightly. It's going to alter things like that. So your mileage is going to vary. It's always going to look better on your TV if you have your TV properly set up. A little thing to that, anytime anyone tells me that their 4K is too dark, your TV is not set up properly. Because especially if you have an OLED, you should be able to push that image forever, lighting it up brighter before it cracks. It shouldn't crack. There's too much information there. So I have multiple settings because every movie has a different tone. So check your settings, all right? It should never be too dark. You should always be able to fix that. I'm going to open it up here. It's the standard limited edition slipcover. And it says, I can't remember what year this is. Sorry guys. It's just a one disc set. Arrow doesn't do a lot of 2-disc set. That's what the disc looks like on the inside. It does have reversible artwork. So there's like the old artwork to it. I kind of do like the new artwork a lot better. This is, I want to say it's rated G. It would not be rated G today. It's got too much intense like subject matter. You see dead people, dead animals, and stuff like that because it revolves around a virus strain from outer space, an intelligent type virus strain that comes and it ends up wiping out this small town. So you have these small town vibes, though that goes away quickly because this group of scientists are ushered away to this underground research facility, and they kind of mirrors Dante's Inferno a little bit because they keep descending further down into the deeper depths of hell, basically. And the further down they go, the more serious everything gets. And they're dealing with a strain here that could possibly wipe out the world. And it's airborne. And they've got to try to figure out its origin, where it, how it's structured, how small it is, how it's passed, why it's not affecting. They find a baby and an old drunk in this town that are still alive. And they got to figure out what those two have in common in order to figure out why they're immune and stop this virus. And it is pretty interesting as you see people dealing with the pressures of this situation and how the different people would deal with it. And it's kind of, a non-trust in government type of movie. It definitely reminded me of Outbreak in a lot of ways that came later. More than any other kind of like apocalyptic movie. It's almost like if you crossed 2001: A Space Odyssey with Outbreak. That would be how I would say it. I'm trying to remember the year. I apologize, guys. I will put it up here. I want to say it's I can't remember, in the 70s. But it was enjoyable. Like, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. The 4K, first of all, the 4K is really good. It's not going to be a 4K of the year contender. It's not going to be one to demo your system. It's definitely not a reference, but it's not a bad 4K. It is filmic. It looks good. The colors pop. If you think of like a mid-century modern motif, a look to everything, that's what you got. And that kind of stuff just pops. That mid-century modern vibe and colors palette just leaps off the screen at you, and you have some very cool effects and like computer stuff that look really cool in the 4K. It doesn't make any effects look bad, anything like that. It is a very solid 4K, and it was a good price. I feel like it was $29.99. I might be wrong. It might be. I got it from Orbit. Sometimes they're cheaper than Arrow themselves. It was either $29.99 or $32.99 when I got it. It stands to reason. It says it's aided by visual effects by Douglas Trumbull, who did 2001: A Space Odyssey and Silent Running. An unforgettable avant-garde electronic music score. I would agree with that. It comes from a 4K from the original camera negative, so all that's going to end up looking good. It's got a good bit of features here. It's got HDR and Dolby Vision. It's got the original lossless mono audio. It's got a new feature, a strain of science fiction and appreciation by a film critic. The Andromeda Strain, making the film an archival featurette from 2001. It has interviews with the screenwriter, the director, a portrait of Michael Crichton, another archival featurette. So it doesn't have a lot of new stuff. It only has a couple of little short new featurettes. But it is a good sort of, if you like the military, you like the conspiracy drama, you like the Outbreak thing, science fiction, it's all there. It's a recommend for me. If you're into that kind of stuff, I really enjoyed it. It was my first time watch, a blind buy, and the Andromeda Strain. Nobody's talking about it. A little silent good hit here from Arrow Video. It's kind of lost because it came out in the same announcement, in the same release dates with Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell. So nobody was really looking at this. Solid 4K right here. All right, so next up, we're going to take a look at What Lies Beneath from Scream Factory. And this one, I'm not going to spend as much time on because a lot of people have probably reviewed this one already by now. I know my buddy Brian over The Last Movie Standing did it. I know Christian at CHH did it. And the 4K is damn good. I mean, Scream Factory, y'all, they catch so much grief. I think it is mostly unwarranted. I think a lot of it is people just being upset that they collected everything Scream Factory put out on Blu-ray. And now Scream Factory's upgrading these because a new format exists now. Nobody can see the future, but they're upgrading these. But then when they put out something new like this, people aren't wanting to get it because they're like, I don't care about that movie. This is a good movie. It is not my favorite Zemeckis movie by far. I mean, come on. You think about what he's done. It's not my favorite Harrison Ford movie at all either. But it is a sneaky, disturbing, creepy, unsettling haunted house movie is what it is, starring Harrison Ford, and it's kind of got a thriller, whodunit, sexual thriller vibe to this thing too. This one comes with some of the best special features you're going to get. If you bought this for no other reason, there is a brand new full feature-length documentary making of this film, uncovering what lies beneath, a full retrospective. It has Robert Zemeckis back in it. That's no small feat. and it's got tons of other people that worked on the movie in here. That is special features, man. Like, I was saying that when it first came out. If you go back and look at my physical media news, I'm like, holy crap, y'all, that is a serious special feature. And it's got a 4K transfer from the 35 millimeter original camera negative, a full restoration done here that was approved by the cinematographer. It's got Dolby Vision. It's got an audio commentary track with Robert Zemeckis and two of the producers on the film. So it's loaded. The movie itself in the 4K, you got the original, everything that, I think Brian pointed this out too. This movie has only ever had this original artwork, and that's it. You do get a 2-disc set with this. So because there's just the original artwork, that's all that's ever existed. You got no reversible artwork. You got the 4K and the Blu-ray of it here. Let me fix that so I don't bend it up. And, this movie starts out, I'm trying to think, it definitely, we were discussing this on a live watch of The Carpenter the other night. This movie has some vibes of that, and that movie has some vibes of this. Harrison Ford plays a college professor, and he's married to Michelle Pfeiffer, who is suffering from empty nest syndrome. She's given up her career as a musician after her musician husband died, and she remarried Harrison Ford's character. And now her daughter is going off to college, so she's alone in this big, beautiful house a lot, and she has this empty nest syndrome. And there's scenes where she's breaking down, thinking about her dead husband, thinking about an accident she was in, all this kind of stuff. So as the ghostly hauntings and the paranormal stuff starts to happen, you nor her nor Harrison Ford are convinced that she's not just going a little bit crazy. And this is one of these movies that I don't feel like, at the end of the movie, I felt like there were no innocent people in this movie. No completely innocent people in this movie. There were definitely people that were worse than others, but nobody was completely innocent of what happened in this movie. And some of the stuff is kind of left with maybe not enough detail to fill that in. But, Michelle Pfeiffer she's kind of being haunted in this, and Harrison Ford's character is wrapped up in his work. And we find out a little bit of spoilers, light spoilers here if you haven't seen it, some light spoilers here. We find out that he had an indiscretion with a student. That student turned stalker psycho on him and threatened to kill Michelle Pfeiffer's character, to kill him, to expose him, all this kind of stuff. She turned crazy stalker. And that didn't end well. And then you also have Michelle Pfeiffer, who, I'm not going to blame her for his indiscretion because that's crap, but it's said in the movie that she basically became detached, had to see someone, seek help over the empty nest syndrome, over her ex-husband dying, and all that kind of stuff. And I guess she became basically frigid for over a year or so. And, they're having this discussion, and she kind of closed herself off to him. So there's a lot of marital things that go back and forth. And again, it's when you really dig into it, you're definitely on Michelle Pfeiffer's side in this movie overall, but you realize how a domino effect could happen and things could snowball to the point where now you have a crazed haunting in your house. If the haunting is in fact real, you have a crazed haunting. The 4K in this pops. Screen Factory rarely misses with 4Ks, and this is another one that is just absolutely outstanding picture quality, sound quality to the best of my abilities. I don't have my full Atmos set up yet, but this is a damn good movie. A great performances by Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford in here, even though I don't like seeing him in a role like this because he's like a hero to me. So it's a good movie, kind of disturbing and unsettling, and you just feel unclean a little bit at the end, and nobody is good, kind of, and there's no way this can end happy. but it is a haunting ghost story, very different type of one. So I do recommend What Lies Beneath. Great 4K here. And finally, the most fun one on the list, Stripes. So this was locked away in a Columbia Classics set of 4Ks, and we were never going to get it. And now we finally got a standalone 4K. I got the steelbook here. It's got the original art on the front, cool art on the back. I'm going to open it up so you can see it like this. Sorry about the reflections. But I am a huge fan of this movie. If you open it up inside, it is a 2-disc set, and that's going to be very, very important. I don't have my J card over here, but it is for all the details because I left it over there. Of course I did. But it is a, it's got HDR and Dolby Vision to it, and by far, I've owned this movie forever. This is by far the best it's ever looked. Of course, it's Sony. Sony also rarely misses when they put something out. But this is the classic comedy. This is from 1981. You got a loaded cast here. Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, John Candy. You've got John Larroquette in here. You've got, I'm trying to think of it. PJ Souls is in here. Lots of recognizable faces. And Bill Murray and Harold Ramis are two layabouts in, 30-year-old going nowhere with their life. So they decide to join the army because they're going to get free clothes, food, and get in shape and all this kind of stuff. And of course, they have a badass drill sergeant who rides them, Sergeant Hulka. This has the famous "Lighten Up, Francis" line in it that's been made into a meme. And this thing is surprisingly racy. It has a lot of nudity in it, if you don't remember. And that's going to bring me to something about this 4K. Now remember, and why the Blu-ray is important. Remember that all of these reviews, I do an uncensored version so that you can see everything what I'm talking about on my Patreon, where I can show you what I'm talking about uncensored. And I watched this movie, and this has both the theatrical and the extended cuts in 4K. So I watched the extended cut, or I watched the theatrical cut, and then I watched the extended cut, because when I watched the theatrical, I was like, wait a minute. There is a nude scene in here. There is a sex scene in here that is completely missing. It's cut down to nothing. And hopefully I've got the video of this. And again, the uncensored version, be on my Patreon. But I started doing some research. I messaged my guys, Jason and Brian. I'm like, guys, they cut this out? What's going on? Are we dealing with a censorship problem again? No, we're actually not. So I did some digging, and the theatrical cut of this scene that I'm talking about, it's a sex scene, a funny nude scene with Bill Murray and PJ Souls. There's also a scene with Harold Ramis, and I cannot remember the actress's name, but she plays Einhorn in Ace Ventura. I just totally escaped my mind. This is her first movie role. She's in a nude scene in the bathtub with Harold Ramis. All of this was gone, and there's like some funny character developments, not just the nudity, but there's some pretty racy nudity in there. And I'm like, that's gone, and that's weird because there's a ton of other nudity in this movie. Why would they cut that? There's a scene where they're mud wrestling with strippers. They get nude, topless, all that stuff. There's a scene where John Larroquette is spying on the officer's shower or whatever that's full of women. It's very reminiscent of Porky's, where you see everything. So I'm like, why would they cut this one scene out? And I watched the extended version, and it has scenes that I've never seen before added into it, where Bill Murray and Harold Ramis lie and get on a plane, army plane, and go to South America and come back without getting caught. Just a ridiculous scene. It should have been cut. But then I'm like, wait, what's going on? So I had to pop in the Blu-ray, and I find deleted scenes. And they didn't even add these deleted scenes to the extended cut. So what had happened was there was a DVD release of this at one point. Not a theatrical release, not a VHS release, not a Blu-ray release. there was a VHS release of this. I mean, a DVD release of this, which is what I grew up, or what I had for the longest time. Not what I grew up with. I was grown before DVDs came out. But what I got used to watching it on was the DVD. And the DVD, there's one particular release of the DVD that had the full scene in it with PJ Soles and the other actress. I can't remember her name. And they actually included it on the Blu-ray deleted scenes. You got to go to the Blu-ray deleted scenes. They didn't put it back in the extended cut. I do not know why. There's an article where PJ Soles said she expected to see it in there, and it's not. So interesting that they didn't put it in there. But it is on the extended Blu-ray, the Blu-ray deleted scenes and extended scenes, part of the special features there, which this has a bunch of special features, including a long interview, which is obviously a few years old, between Bill Murray and Ivan Reitman, where they're talking back and forth. A great watch. It is loaded with special features. But one thing I also noticed when you go in there and you can watch that scene in its entirety. I don't know why they didn't put that in the extended scene, the extended cut. I really don't. It makes way more sense and it's more funny and everything else than some of the other scenes that they did put back in. But man, when you go watch the unrestored scenes on the Blu-ray, hopefully I got some footage of this. There are scratches, burns, gouges. You really see what bad shape that film was in and how much restoration work went into it. Holy jeez, man. If I can put any of it side by side, I will, but I'm pretty sure I've got some footage of just how bad those pops, they're like clicks and pops and fuzz and hairs and scratches and rips all in it, and you realize the amount of work that they did to restore this. And maybe some of that's the reason some of those scenes didn't make it back in there. I don't know, but there's not any censorship going on here. It was never there in the theatrical. It was never there in the VHS. It wasn't there in the Blu-ray. There was one DVD release where it was cut in. That's the one I just happened being used to watch, even though I have the VHS. Still watch the DVD more. So that's the one I got used to watching. So I knew immediately when it wasn't there. Also, I've met PJ Soles at Days of the Dead Horror Convention, and she sold, like when we were both a guest, she used to sell pictures from that scene that she would autograph. So I knew it existed. I knew I wasn't going crazy. That's what it is. But you can check out the scene in the Patreon version, uncensored. But man, I thought, oh gosh, we have another censorship problem nobody's talking about. Fortunately, they did not do that. And this movie is so much fun. The 4K is just light years better than any other way I've ever seen this movie. And I'm a massive fan of this movie. Even though it's like 1981, it still has serious 70s vibes going on with it. And Risha watched it with me. This was like the first time she really remembered watching it, and she was sure it was the 70s. It just has those vibes to it, but you can tell it's kind of on that line where it turns the page to the 80s. And you got Harold Ramis and Bill Murray going at it here together just a few years before Ghostbusters. And of course, you got Ivan Reitman involved. This thing is an absolute blast of a movie. And it was just sad, though, in a scene where you got John Candy and Harold Ramis sitting next to each other doing this comedy, and they're both gone and all that kind of stuff way too soon. But we get to enjoy them in movies like Stripes. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. It's one of my favorites. I wanted to let you know. I think you can get this right now for $36.99 or $38.99 on Orbit. I'm not sure the price on Amazon. It's worth it. It's worth it. If you're a fan of 80s comedies, 80s raunchy comedies, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, John Candy, all that. John Candy has a bigger role in this than I remember, than most people remember him as. And there's a moment in this 4K that blew me away because I've seen this movie countless times. There's a scene where the whole platoon is running through the woods for training, and John Larroquette's standing there watching them as he's over their whole platoon. and it's muddy. The ground is muddy and wet. And I always just thought it was raining. It just looked like it was raining. It's snowing. It's actually snowing in the movie. It's like rain and spit and snow, but you can see it. I've seen this movie more times than I can count. And I paused it. I'm like, holy shit. It's snowing. I never noticed it was snow, but you could see it falling. You could see the occasional big flakes, the rain and the snow and the sleet mixed together. For the first time ever, you could see it. And you could see the snow building up on their hats, on their green hats, and on their pockets and stuff like that. That's the power of a 4K. I mean, is that a big deal? Maybe not, but that was cool as hell to experience for the first time. And I absolutely loved it. I didn't want to forget to mention that. I almost did. But I've rewound that like 5 times. So hopefully I got the video on here, because I literally discovered something about a movie that I love that I have never seen before. And I thought that was cool. That's kind of little shit that makes 4Ks so cool, and all this technology we have to bring our movies to life in a whole other way. It did that for me with Stripes. Absolutely love it. Super high recommend. And that's what I got for you this time. A little 3-pack of 4K reviews. I hope you enjoyed this. You know we do it all here. 4K reviews, physical media news, lists, rankings, recommendations, all that we all love. And I love it all. That's why I do it all. Don't just stay with one thing. I'll even throw the occasional haul video, the hunt in the wild, all kinds of stuff, some special themed videos, because man, this is so much fun. And positive vibes out there to everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. If you enjoyed this and you want to see the uncensored versions of this and all my other videos, you can join at my Patreon link, become a Patreon member. You can also join right here on YouTube and become a channel member. I just can't do as much of that kind of stuff on YouTube, obviously. But no matter what, you're going to get your name in lights on every single video. I'm going to bang my elbow right here. You're going to get members only videos, those uncensored videos, behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, and a whole lot more. And everything goes back into the channel. And y'all, I really do appreciate that more than you know. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.